So along the lines of mental health, because we're all entrepreneurs here, or aspiring entrepreneurs, or whatever it is we're doing, even if we're not entrepreneurs, the things that I love to teach on, coach on, are things that can help us in our life, period. Right? And our relationships with our spouses, our significant others, our families, right? How we operate on our 9 to 5s if we're still working in 9 to 5 in the corporate world, how we are adapting to ourselves in life. Was here last week too, being more aware of my emotions and not letting certain things set me off. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So we're going to jump right in because I want to get this before you guys, give you something to feast on. So let's go. Let's go. Y'all ready? I'm not going to do the whole spiel from last week. You know who I am. If you don't, go catch that replay. Desi Inspired, speaker, author, life coach. I help entrepreneur women increase their confidence, their clarity, and baby, their currency, okay? And we also do that by effectively living and walking in our God-given calling. So let us begin. Okay, last week, I already talked about that. We dealt with mental health in the form of emotional intelligence, right? And we said that emotional intelligence was our EQ. It's said to be more important than our IQ when it comes to success and determining someone's level of success, right? And we discussed when you get more specific with your words, tapping into how you really feel, putting a name to those emotions, not just bad, sad, mad, glad, but really digging deep and seeing, how do I really feel about this? How am I going to process it, right? What do I feel? What caused it? And what am I going to do about it? Proper emotional management helps you make the right moves, okay? And we want to be successful. We don't want to be those people that they successful like in business, but then the family tore up, their relationships is a mess, their mental health is deteriorating, but they just got a nice bank account full of money and 6 and 7 figure businesses, right? We're focusing on our 6 and 7 figure businesses as we should, but we got to make sure we secure the real bag, right? Surprise, sis, you are the bag. Secure yourself, okay? So tonight, this evening, I want us to talk about the combination of self-love and self-esteem. Because self-love be trending. You know what I'm saying? Self-love, it sounds real good. You be like, you got to love yourself, sis. You got to walk away from anything that's not serving you. Which is good. You know what I'm saying? It's right. We do need to walk away from anything not serving us. But we need to make sure that we are not the root of why it's not serving us, okay? We got to make sure that we are not the cause. And I'm not saying it being our fault, but making sure we're evaluating us. Because a lot of times we wouldn't have to walk away from it if we never walked into it. I'm just saying, that's for me. That might not be for you. That's for me. We wouldn't have to walk away from certain things if we didn't walk into it to begin with. So we have to start with ourselves and address, where is my self-love and my self-esteem? And all this still ties back into our mental, emotional well-being, okay? So let's talk about it. First, let's be clear about self-love and self-esteem. We need to know what we're talking about to be able to actually talk about it. A lot of times when things are trending online or on social media, we take whatever a meme tells us. Baby, we live our life off of memes like they the Bible, like it's gospel. Because I read a meme once that said, sis, and we be so wrong. The meme don't have no type of back into it. It just sound good, and it gets us what? In our feelings, in our emotions. Have us feeling a certain way, like, I know that's right. But we got to actually make sure we know what we're talking about. We can't be jumping on fads and trends and going along with social media, and we're not really sure of what we're doing and what we're saying and how we're showing up. So let's talk about self-love. It's an appreciation of one's own worth or virtue. It grows from actions that support our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. So self-love is not just like, I'm going to go take this bubble bath. I'm finna get my hair done, nails did, everything did, because that's self-love, sis. That's a part of self-care, a form of it, but self-love goes deeper than that, okay? And I want us to not be surface. As boss women, boss men, whoever is on this call and part of this community watching this playback, as being real bosses, we got to make sure it starts with ourselves and how we are loving and caring for ourselves in totality. I said last week, we don't want to be outward successes, but then inward failures, private failures. We have the external stuff. We got the bag, we got the shoes, we built the business, we built the brand. But then we go home at night and we still feel empty. We like, dang, I thought I would feel better. You ever wanted something so bad, but then when you got it, it's like, it's not really giving what it's supposed to have gave. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to be giving a little bit more, right? So we got to dig deep. Self-love. Having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. Taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. Not settling for less than you deserve, right? Taking care of your own needs, that's a big one. And not sacrificing for your well-being to please others. Yes, we will have to make certain sacrifices or arrangements in life, but if the sacrifice is going to compromise who I am as a person, what I represent, what I stand for, what makes me me, what makes me feel good and at peace with myself, to please someone else, it's not going to work. Now, if I'm sacrificing to get to where I need to go, or I'm practicing delayed gratification, how many know what delayed gratification is? Meaning putting off current pleasure for a future goal, right? Delayed gratification is not feeling like I'm part of the in crowd when all my girls and the dudes are out kicking it, and I know I need to save this money. I know I need to be at home working on my 30-page business plan. Because I'm going to get instant gratification by going out now. Like, I'm going to feel good. I'm going to drink a little something. I'm going to step out, pose, all of this stuff. That's instant gratification. But the delayed gratification is I might not see what I'm working on till 6 months down the line. I might not experience the success I want till 2 years from now. But am I willing to have enough self-love and not sacrifice my own needs to please others? To make it seem like I'm with the crew, or I'm cool, or I can take the selfies and I want to make sure I'm in the Instagram post and I'm tagged. But as a result, I'm sacrificing something that means a lot to me. That's still part of self-love too. So not settling for less than you deserve. All right, let's talk about self-esteem. Because, baby, we be calling everything self-esteem. Self-confidence, self-esteem. We make everything just one big thing. And these are not the same thing. They're separate things. So take some notes. Again, I'm not going to be on here long, but I'm going to make sure I get this in to help us operate at a high level in life and in business. Okay, so esteem. Stick with me now. Listen, we not surface type of people. We ain't TBC, the boss chat, the blueprint collect, where this is an exclusive community. It's a private community. We're high level thinkers. We're high level operators, right? We operate at a high level in business and life. So we not surface. I don't do the cookie cutter feel good stuff, right? Like, that's not me. I don't know nothing about that lifestyle because that's not me, okay? I like to take you deep, right? Because I want you to actually have something. I don't want you to come, when you come in anything I do, whether it's this class or whatever, and you like, oh, that was good. I just felt really good on the inside. And then you go back to living life the same way. You just wasted an hour of your time feeling good, but you're not living good. You're not operating at a higher level in your life. You're still struggling with the same things because you listen to somebody who just made you feel good in that moment. And we said last week, don't let the way you feel affect the way you flow. So when I teach, when I coach, when I speak, when I mentor, I want to give you something to think about to transform your life. I say I'm not just here for inspiration. My name is Desi Inspire. Yeah, I'm inspire you. That's cool. Inspiration is nice. Motivation, that's good. We need to be motivated. But baby, my job is to help you achieve transformation. Because when you receive transformation in your life, you can now go and transform the lives of the people that you serve. Whether it's in your business, your family, your children, your loved ones, all of that. So listen, self-esteem, it comes from the Latin. Now, I ain't Latin, so if I pronounce it wrong, we don't know, okay? Estimare or estimar. It means to appraise, to value, to rate, to weigh, to estimate. And esteem, self-esteem is our cognitive and above all our emotional appraisal of our own worth. Boom. What that mean, Des? Like, break that down because you use some words, some SAT preps. Just make it plain. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself and how worthy you are. I hit on it last week. Self-esteem is your worthiness. Do I feel worthy? Do I feel like I'm valuable? How do I value myself? Do I put more value on other people and what they got going on than I put on myself? Do I compare myself to others because I feel like I'm not worthy? Do I accept anything from anybody because I feel like that's what I deserve? That's the value I place on myself. So again, we talk about these memes and quotes about Walk away from anything that's not serving you. Well, baby, how many times we gonna keep walking away from stuff instead of just not walking in it to begin with? Yes, we need to walk away from it, but let's make sure that we have secured the real bag first ourselves, so we don't even find ourselves walking into it to begin with, because that's delaying our progress. And a lot of us, we're trying to go somewhere. You're trying to go somewhere in your business. You're trying to go somewhere in your personal life, in your family, right? You don't have time for unnecessary delays. You don't have time for unnecessary trips and pitfalls that you can avoid by really securing yourself and making sure I'm practicing emotional intelligence, making sure my self-esteem where it needs to be, my self-confidence where it needs to be, so I don't find myself in these situations that's now weighing and pulling on my energy. Because once it's pulling on my energy, I can't show up and work on my business like I need to, because I'm stressing about this relationship. I'm stressing about this situationship. I'm stressing about trying to compare myself to somebody else's business who's been in business longer than me. Let me calm down. Y'all know I be getting all worked up and stuff, but I don't mean no harm. Okay, so it's our worth. How worthy do you feel about yourself? The matrix through which we think, feel, act, and it reflects and determines our relationship to ourselves and to others and to the world. Difficult to practice self-love with low self-esteem. That's a connection. You can say all day, oh, this part of my self-love, it's self-love. But you got low self-esteem, sis. How, Sway? You can't effectively practice self-love if you got low self-esteem, because your self-esteem is how you see yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? Who do you see? Like, for real, for real. Not when you look at your social media and it's popping, or when you look at this and everybody's praising you and everybody is like, everybody loving on you. But when you look in the mirror and it's just you and you, sis, you and you, king, in the mirror, what do you see? How do you feel about that person looking back at you? Are you still tripping on mistakes that you've made? Are you still tripping as you think you should be farther ahead in life? Are you still stressing about how people did you in relationships that came and tore you down, that dictated your value? That's your self-esteem. That's what it really is. Not what you posting on social media. Baby, not the nice pic. Baby, we know how to pose. You know what I'm saying? We got them poses down pat. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm a connoisseur of some poses. At the end of the day, when you got to pose in that mirror, what's looking back at you, right? Okay, so we got that. Low self-esteem is not categorized as a mental health condition in itself, right? But there is a clear link between the way we feel about ourselves and our overall mental and emotional well-being. When I don't think highly of myself, I'm not going to act like that. I'm going to stress. I'm going to have anxiety. I'm going to always be feeling bad about myself. These negative and these unhealthy thoughts, we engage in self-sabotaging behavior. We do anything we want to do. So it links to our mental health and our emotional well-being. Research links low self-esteem to mental health issues and a poor quality of life. This is a potentially dangerous way to live. And it hurts me because I do this as a living. I do this full time. This is my full-time job as my entrepreneurship, as I coach and mentor women. This is what I do. So I see this all of the time, right? And it's the people that you least expect. It's the ones where it look like we got it together, baby. We on our stuff to the world. But then behind closed doors, in that mirror, face to face, we haven't addressed some stuff. We're still struggling, and that's okay. But you can't stay there. You can't stay there, okay? Because it's a dangerous way to live, right? You hear people that end up, and it ties to the emotional intelligence. All of this is linking together, right? It's not isolated, right? You hear people, and you think they had it together. Then next thing you know, they committed suicide. Next thing you know, when you see the real them, they're self-medicating, they're drinking, they're drugging, they're practicing escapism to escape reality because they don't feel worthy. They don't feel good enough, right? They've been rejected so many times. They're now living out a lie. We don't want that. Example, I don't got my money with me. So when I speak, usually at schools, I did this demonstration like with the kids, right? So say you got some money. You got that $20 bill, that thing crisp, fresh. You know what I'm saying? Them fresh bills that you gotta when they be real fresh and they stick together and you gotta you gotta get them pulled apart, right? So pretend you got that money, honey. You got that $20 bill, fresh, crisp, clean, right? And so with that dollar, with that 20, whatever it is, 100, I would take it and I'd be like, all right, who want this money? Everybody like, me, I want it. Let me get it, Miss Des. Let me get it, Miss Destiny. Ooh, girl, I can buy me some bubble gum. I'm like, you're going to get a lot of bubble gum with this $20 bill, right? Anyway, I take the money. I'm like, who wants it? Everybody wants the money. So then I start balling the money up. Pretend you're balling up that money. I mean, just all between your hands. I throw it on the floor. I'm stepping on it. I'm scrubbing my feet all over. I'm stomping. I'm doing a 1-2 step. Baby, I'm doing anything you can imagine. Stanky leg, whatever is in style these days. I'm doing everything on this money. Dirty, nasty, filthy, spit on it, kick it, whatever you want to do. Like, I completely disrespect the money. Disrespect it. So then I pick it up. I'm like, boom, all right. Who still want it now? And a few kids was like, nah, I'm good. But most of them was like, I still want it. Give it to me. You don't want it? Give it to me. Because I'm like, I don't want it, y'all. It's dirty. It's on the floor. Like, why would I want this? They like, well, give it to me. I'll show you what to do with it. I want the money. And I'm like, why would you want money that's nasty, been stepped on, been disrespected? Like, I completely trashed this money. It got little rips in it now. Like, what do you want the money for still? Like, why would you still want it? And do you know what their response is? Children. Like, I'm talking about like elementary, middle school children. In their minds, they said, Miss Des, I still want that $20 bill because even though you did all this stuff to it, it didn't lose its value. Children, they identified that no matter what happened to the bill itself, that's worth $20, that's worth $10, worth $100, no matter what happened to that bill, it didn't decrease in value. The bank not gonna say, oh, this money dirty, so we don't want it. Your bill collectors they don't care that the money dirty. Run us our coins. So if children can identify that money doesn't lose its value based on what it goes through or what it experiences, then we as adults with all of our cognitive functions, we have to be able to apply that same principle to our life when it comes to our self-esteem, which is our worth. We have to identify, it doesn't matter what happened to me. It doesn't matter what I've done. My value did not decrease. Someone walking out on me does not decrease my value. I told you guys, I'm divorced. I've been in bad relationships. I've been in bad friendships that betrayed me or did things. I've done things myself, but that doesn't take away from the value or the worth, because your self-esteem is you. It's not contingent upon anybody else's perception of you. And when you allow other people to project their feelings onto you, their thoughts onto you, their definition of how worthy you are onto you, it's going to drive you crazy. Like, you're not going to be able to function at a high level, and you can forget a business, boo. If you haven't gotten you together, forget a business, boo. You need to secure you, get you together first. So now you can work on that business with a clear mind, with a healthy mind, because you're going to do this and you're going to gain all of this. The good book says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? You're gaining all these things, but in your soul, you're dying. And I say sleep does the body little when it's your soul that's tired, right? When you're dealing with all this mental pressure and pain and you're not properly loving yourself because you don't have a good self-esteem, it doesn't matter. Like, if the money is going to cause me to lose my mind, I don't want it. What's the point of having it if I cannot enjoy it? So as we're building businesses, if we're learning the structure and the systems and the models on how to increase our business, you should be increasing yourself. Like, as much money, as much time as you put into your professional development with your business, baby, you need to add that, if not more, to your personal development. What am I doing for my personal development? How am I making sure I'm healthy mentally, emotionally? How am I being stable so I can operate a business at a high level? So I can operate multiple businesses without losing my mind or losing myself, right? Did the example make sense, though? You know what I'm saying? If I had some real money, I'd be able to show y'all, but I left it in the room and I ain't finna go get it. All right, examples of low self-esteem. People who are extremely critical of themselves. And to an extreme. Now, I'm critical of myself, but I'm not extreme, right? Downplays or ignores your positive qualities. You can have amazing things about you, but you will nitpick and pull out the small things about you and disregard everything else. That's called minimizing and maximizing, right? We call that minimizing and maximizing. You minimize the good things about you. You minimize the success. You minimize the accomplishments. You minimize the things that you have done well. And you maximize everything that you did wrong. You pull yourself apart from how you look to how you act, what you've done, everything, right? That's a self-esteem issue, sis. And I know because I was like that too, right? So it's nothing to be ashamed of, feel bad about. You should be happy that it's self-awareness, because you can't fix what you don't know, right? You can't fix what you won't face. So downplays or ignores the positive qualities, judges themselves to be inferior to their peers. In other words, you compare yourself and you think you less than, right? Uses negative words to describe themselves, which is stupid, fat, ugly, unlovable. This is negative self-talk. You got to cut it. Queen Jovi talks about this. I've heard her say this several times about be careful the words that you were speaking. Do you not know your words have power? Like what you speak out of your mouth, you have the power to make that thing come to life. And then you wonder why you always sick and tired. Because you always say, I'm just so sick and tired. This make me so sick. Now you always sick. Like you're speaking and manifesting the words out of your mouth. Like when you were created, whoever you believe in, that's not my business. But all I know is when I was created by a powerful God. And that powerful God says, in this world, as I am, so are you. And he had the power to speak things and they had to happen. He spoke things and they came to life. So it lets me know when I speak things into my life, they're going to start forming and manifesting. Even if I don't see it today, I'm speaking things down the line. There have been word curses spoken over our families from people in our family. You ain't gonna never be this. All the women in our family is this. All the men is this. Blah, blah, blah. These are word curses. You got to cast down on word curses. You got to take charge of those things and say, oh, no, this stops here. I don't know what y'all got going on, but I don't know nothing about that life because that's not me. And you got to start speaking into your life the things that you want to see. When I changed my self-talk, when I changed how I saw myself, stopped calling myself all these names and speaking these things into my life, my attitude changed. My personality changed. My level of happiness changed. Try it. You should try it sometimes and see how it works for you. All right, so using these negative words to speak, you don't even need enemies because you're your own enemy. We talking about haters, and baby, you your biggest hater. You are your hater. When there's an African proverb that says, when there's no enemy within, the enemy on the outside can do us no harm. Baby, when I've dealt with me and I've dealt with my demons and I've dealt with the way I see me and my self-esteem and my worthiness and my worth, I'm not worried about them people. Them people don't got a heaven or hell to put me in. Them people ain't even customers. They ain't trying to support me. Why do I care? I don't care about enemies as long as I'm not public enemy number one. And many of us, our issue is we are our own enemy. We're fighting a war internally with ourselves. We got two wolves on the inside of us, a good one and an evil one. And you ask which one is going to win? The one that you're feeding the most. Which one are you feeding the most? That's the one that's going to be the more powerful one. That's the one that's going to win. Are you feeding the positive side of you? Are you feeding who you really are? Are you feeding who you were really created to be? Are you feeding that you are fearfully, wonderfully made? You are beautiful. You are a child of God. You are wonderful. You are smart. You are brilliant. You are intelligent. You are a millionaire. Are you feeding, man, I'm worthless. I can't never do this right. I always mess up. It's always something. I'm so stupid. Dang, why'd I do that? I'm so dumb. If you keep feeding this one, this is the one that's going to win. And we can't blame nobody else when it wins and it takes over and consumes our life. Whatever you're feeding yourself, that's what's going to win. It's simple as that. When there's no enemy within, the enemy on the outside can do us no harm. I want you to remember that. All right. So blames themselves for anything that goes wrong. Now, that doesn't mean not taking accountability. We take accountability for things that we can control, but we'll blame ourselves for things that are beyond our control. Things that we didn't have nothing to do with. If the weather was bad and something happened, we blame ourselves. Like, it was my fault. And like, we'll blame things that we literally have no outward control over. And we'll internalize it, right? We'll internalize as if it's our fault. And that's going to always keep us down, right? Doesn't believe a person who compliments them. We talked a little bit about that last week. When someone says something positive about you, you don't believe it because you don't think you're worthy of it. I used to do that. Like somebody used to compliment me. I felt like I always had to offer a compliment when I got a compliment. Like I couldn't just accept it. And again, some of these characteristics are similar with the emotional intelligence, with the self-confidence. Some of the characteristics do fall under each category. So they're not exclusive. That's like if it's something wrong with you, right? You're like, well, you said that about that. It's still true. You ever had something wrong with you? And y'all know how we do. We Google everything. We will diagnose ourselves with all kind of crazy stuff. We'll read the symptoms like, oh, I got that symptom too. Oh, I got that symptom too. Not knowing that different diseases or different problems, some of them have the same symptoms. That's why you have to go to a professional to get diagnosed on what it really is. The same thing with self-confidence, self-esteem. Some of them, the characteristics are the same when you're low in them. So it doesn't mean that, oh, well, that can only be for that. It could be for a bunch of them. Only you will know that when you self-assess, self-reflect, and then self-correct. So keep it moving. We got to keep it moving. Keep it moving. I hope this is good. Is it good? Drop something in the chat so I can read it later. All right. How it affects your quality of life. I'm not finna go into all this. Lack of self-care. You abuse yourself, overindulge, neglect yourself, relationship problems. You tolerate certain behaviors because you feel like that's what I'm worth. I can't do better. I won't get better. And sometimes people will tell us, you'll never find better than me. This is the best you'll ever have. And so in your mind, you've placed value at a lower scale. I should value myself up here, but I don't think I'm worthy to get a person like that. Or I don't think I'm good enough to, have those kinds of friends. Or I got to work myself up to be good enough for them or good enough for that, right? Relationship problems. And again, not just romantic, but platonic, professional, in business, in friendships, right? Relationships go across the board. Negative feelings, constant self-criticism can lead to persistent feelings of sadness, depression, anxiety, anger, shame, or guilt. Self-harming behavior, that's when it goes to another level. You're at increased risk of self-harm, eating disorders, drug abuse, substance abuse, suicide, suicidal thoughts, right? Self-esteem affects that quality of life, right? That's why I'm not impressed by people who have a lot of money. Do you have a lot of self-love? Do you have a lot of emotional intelligence, right? Do you have a lot of character about yourself? Otherwise, it's money, but you're miserable. Baby, I want the total package vibes over here. We're not choosing. I want all of the above, okay? We're winding down. There's 3 types of self-esteem. I'm not going to go in detail of both. I'm going to give you some homework to learn to do a little something on your own. But 3 types of self-esteem, right? You've got high, you've got low, and you've got inflated. High self-esteem is the goal, right? High self-esteem, it's a healthy balance, right? It's a healthy balance of I know who I am, I'm comfortable and I'm confident in that. I value myself. I accept myself as I am. It doesn't mean I'm not working on myself, but I accept that I'm a work in progress and I love me for who I am. I don't try to change myself for anyone else. I'm not trying to impress anyone else. I can say no. When you got high self-esteem, you can say no to people. You don't have a problem being assertive. Like, it's high. It's high and it's healthy. A lot of times people will try to make you feel like you got high self-esteem, you arrogant. But that's because they don't have high self-esteem. And they feel like, who do you think you are to love yourself like that? Who do you think you are to value yourself so highly, right? Who do you think you are to respect yourself and be patient with yourself? Because they're hard on themselves, picking themselves apart. And I'm hard on myself, but in a healthy way. Only in a way when I know, okay, Des, you can push a little bit harder, but not in a you stupid, you so dumb, like you ugly, you too skinny. Like, I don't do that stuff. I used to, but not no more, right? High self-esteem is I accept myself as I am. And what I don't like about myself, I will change it for me, not for anybody else. Low self-esteem. You look at yourself as less than, not enough, not good enough, people pleasing, right? All of these things. Inflated. That's when you have inflated self-esteem, which can be borderline into narcissistic behavior, though. That's another topic. When you have inflated self-esteem, you're manipulative. You use people. You're overindulgent. Everything is about you. You don't care about the feelings or emotions of other people. Like, you feel like the world rises and sets on you. That's inflated, right? High is healthy. Inflated is not. But make sure that you evaluate you to see where you fall. But then if you have that high self-esteem, don't let people come and try to tear that down. Because especially in women, whenever women carry themselves with this level of class, this level of queenness, and you know who you are, you know your non-negotiables, you don't take no mess, you accept what you accept what you want, and you don't accept what you don't want, people will try to come and knock that self-esteem. Sometimes men will be intimidated by that. Sometimes other people or other women, just in general, this is for men and women, but people will be intimidated of that level of high self-esteem, and they will try to convince you that you're doing too much. Try to convince you that you're arrogant. As long as you know that you've gone through that checklist, you've been emotionally intelligent, you've used a good word choice. Okay, how do I feel about myself? How do I see myself? How do I feel about this moment, right? I know I have flaws. I know I have areas of opportunity that I'm working on, but I'm not going to let that cause me to act like I ain't popping. I'm still popping. Like, for one, I'm a child of God. Like, what you thought this was? I know my value. And those areas of opportunity, I'll work on those. Those areas where I'm falling short, because I don't believe in weaknesses. I don't say the word weakness. I say area of opportunity. I have an opportunity to get better in this area. It's not a weakness, because we look at weaknesses as something bad and we run from them. No, I'm going to work on this area of opportunity because I know I can be better. But that area of opportunity does not dictate my worth. And people will try to knock your self-esteem and bring to your remembrance, well, you did this and you that, and where you come from this family, and I remember when she wasn't there, I remember when he was this or that, and they will do that, and it will chisel away at your self-esteem, and that's going to affect your self-love, how you love yourself, right? So do your own homework, evaluate, where do I fall? Do I got high self-esteem? Is it kind of low? Is it inflated? All right, now, practical, what steps to improve it? These are just a few, but not all. One, identify the belief about yourself. What do I really believe about myself to be true? What is the belief that I have about me? Two, challenge your self-talk about it. So whatever that belief is, I need to challenge the way I'm talking about it, right? Very practical. This is nothing that's going over your head. This is very practical steps that you can take. Challenge that self-talk, because your self-talk matches your belief about yourself. If I don't feel good enough, if I don't feel worthy, if I feel like I've made too many mistakes, or I come from the wrong family, or I don't come from money, or I don't have friends, or people have mistreated me, and I believe that about myself, then what I say about myself is going to match that. So challenge it. When those words come out of your mouth, bring them back. But we're not doing this. No. Say something positive or something neutral. You're right. I'm not rich. You're right. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm making more money every day. I'm becoming rich in my mind. I'm becoming rich in my health. My bank account is going to reflect how I feel about myself. Like, you have to say things to work your way up. Don't lie to yourself and be like, well, I don't really believe that. Say something that you believe. Say something that speaks of progression. Those are called neutral statements. Sometimes we can't say overly positive ones because we don't believe them. Let's be honest. You ever say something like super positive, you're like, I don't really believe that. Start neutral. I may not have this, but acknowledge your progress. But I'm getting better every day. I may not be a size whatever, but I'm getting healthier every day. I'm making a choice every day to be healthier. I'm eating a better meal every day. I'm getting there, right? That's challenging that self-talk. Practice better total self-care. You define your self-care. I gave some of you guys a self-care assessment last week who DM me. There are different categories to self-care. It's not just bubble baths and shopping sprees and hair and nails and makeup. You got spiritual self-care. You got emotional self-care, right? You got relational self-care. There's different dimensions of self-care that I didn't even know existed until I talked to my therapist and she gave that to me. There's different things that you can do that monitors and helps you with self-care, but you have to determine what that is. And y'all DM me your email address and I'll send you the self-care assessment if you want it. But practice better total self-care, right? Emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I have to practice self-care in each of those areas, right? And then extend grace to yourself. Like, I posted today on my Instagram about, like, you got to have grace. Be patient with yourself. You're not going to get there overnight. And a lot of things that we deal with, they didn't happen overnight. They didn't develop overnight. So they're not going to get fixed overnight. So have grace with yourself. If nobody else is patient with you, you be patient with you. You won't let nobody else talk to you crazy sometimes. Some of us like, who she thinks she talking to? Who do you think you talking to? Because you talking to you any kind of way. So why shouldn't they talk to you any kind of way? You doing it. So you got to first self-check and extend grace to myself. I'm doing the best that I can. I know I can do better, but I'm going to celebrate what I've done. I'm going to celebrate the growth. I'm not today where I was yesterday, right? And then if you need to seek out that professional help, go a step further. Get counselors, get mentors, get coaches, get therapists, whatever it is that you need. Again, a lot of these things fall together, but they have different definitions. So I don't want us to combine them because they are separate entities. But some of the resolves are the same, right? If you go back and look at last week's class, some of the things are very similar. The same way with certain sicknesses, you can have some of the same symptoms, but different sicknesses, completely different illnesses, but the symptoms are the same. A cough ain't just for one type of sickness. A cough can be for 5,000 different things, right? So you got to self-assess, self-reflect, self-correct. We talked about that last week. Because those things can go with anything. Always self-assess, right? What is the issue? What is the problem? What is at hand right now? What's going on? Self-reflect. Okay, where did this come from? What's the root of it? What's the earliest I can remember it happening? And then self-correct. What's the course of action that I need to take? Because it's nobody else's responsibility to fix me but me. Okay? And if fixing me means going to get help, then that's part of self-correct. Therapist, coach, mentor, teacher, pastor, whatever. But you got to start with the work, okay? So, self-reflect with yourself. Has my esteem affected my mental health and my quality of life? If so, how? And what am I going to do about it? And then tie that into self-love. Is my self-love a direct reflection of my self-esteem? Is my self-love and how I'm loving myself a direct reflection of how I value myself, which is that self-esteem? Self-esteem is the value that you put on yourself. And it's my prayer that you, after this call and the last one, that you really take time and sit with yourself. Because it's nothing worse than me when I coach people who are like already successful. Like, they don't need to increase currency. They got the money. They have more money than they know what to do with. The money is not the problem. Their internal self is the problem. And we think that money will solve all problems. Money don't even solve money problems. Self has to solve that, right? So as we're building our businesses, as we're building these things, like, we have to be able to address ourselves, right? And to connect with me, I do a prayer call Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesdays is Girl Chat Wednesday. I usually let one of the queens in my community do a call. It's like real casual. We converse back and forth, have encouragement. We pray over our day. And then I also have an app called Crowned by Destiny Inspire. It's a mobile empowerment app for women. It's fitness on there, blogs, articles, music, a private chat, anything you can think of is on that app. So download this on Apple as well as Google Store. And then social media, I'm Destiny Inspire at Destiny Inspire everywhere. And that is that. And so, more money, more problems. I hear that. Capital P for the poppin'. Hallelujah. I'm going back and read your comments now. I need a workbook or something from you, sis. Fire. Get around some good people that feel right to your nervous system. Ooh, get out your hometown. Ooh. Okay, iPhone 12 Max. 100. Amen. Hit record, please. Baby, I didn't even see the chat. So, yeah, I think y'all, people that ain't make this call, they done missed it. Yeah, they done missed it. I'm hit record anyway. Yeah, I can put it in here. Was it good? Did y'all get something out of it? Did you learn something? Maybe if it wasn't for you, something that you can take back to somebody that you know needs to hear it or needs to know.
Yeah, I was just
Come on, Grace. Come on, Grace. Hey, sis.
Hey, Queen.
Hey,
Queen.
Hey, girl. I be trying.
What I was going to say is, like, I have this friend that we used to do business together, and I took some time off for, like, a few years, and, like, we're, like, connecting again, like, reconnecting, and she's, like, through the years we weren't talking, she's been through a divorce, etc. A lot has happened, and, like, she's just, like, living her best life. And you said something. You said practicing escapism to escape your reality. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what she's doing. And like, I'm gonna talk to her.
That's
'Cause,
good.
yeah.
A lot of times we create. Now, here's the thing: escapism isn't always bad, because think about a child or someone who is experiencing trauma, whether it's physical abuse or sexual abuse. They practice escapism to be able to bear sometimes the things that they go through. And I don't want to get technical because I'm not a therapist, but sometimes you'll create these fantasies in these worlds just to be able to escape what you're living through, because that's the only way to get through it. But as we mature as adults, we don't use that as a way out, right? We actually have to address what we're going through so we can make sure we're healing through it and growing through it. But yes, it's definitely a thing. Escapism is definitely something that we do. For me, drinking was an escapism, right? Weekend, I'm just gonna drink and just act like this stuff ain't even happening right now, like it's not gonna be there when I come back, right? Or I'm gonna just be overly happy and act like nothing is wrong. This goes back to the emotional intelligence. I'm gonna act like nothing is wrong even though on the inside I know it is. So yeah. Yeah, girl, help a sister out, help a friend out.
Right now, I wish she was really on this Zoom.
Right, but see, now you're getting the information, so now you're able to share it with other people who need it, and that's the importance of communities like these. Like we learn from so many people, and now it's our responsibility. Once we've taken it in for ourselves, now who can I help with this? Even when it comes to social media, I always say sometimes your timeline can be somebody else's lifeline. Like, you don't know what you say or do that can have a positive or negative impact on somebody else's life. So I take, even down to my social media, I take it seriously. I know people are watching me. I know people look up to me. I know I'm somewhat of an influencer. I don't care if you got 5 followers, you're influencing somebody. So we have to be mindful that we're the best versions that we need to be for ourselves in order to be that for them as well. Good stuff, though. What's the name of your app? It's called Crowned by Destiny Inspire, and it's a free app. And make sure you sign up for the notifications so you can get my little messages or whatever. I'll be sending like little motivations and stuff. So, subscribe to the notifications when you download it. But other than that, if all hearts and minds are clear, if anybody, hey, King Donna, we got some kings up here. Travis, okay, hey y'all. I'm talking about Queen this and Queen that. Hey, what up, Kings? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave y'all out. This for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the pink fool you.
I appreciate the shout out. I'm over here at work. So.
Hey, do your thing, King. Don't let me stop the money train. Don't let me stop it. Queen Tracy, I see your hand up. Queen Tracy, did you want to contribute to the conversation? Hey, girl.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the password for your prayer call? I got my feelings hurt on Friday.
Girl, listen. So what had happened was me and Free Conference Call had some issues. So it took away my number, and so most of us couldn't get in. But it's fixed now. I'll send you, DM me. I'll send you the flyer. Or even if you type in, if you go to on Instagram, I don't post on there much, but the Queen Council on Instagram, you'll see the flyers. The numbers are always the same. And I intentionally pay more money so we don't have to have access codes. But Free Conference Call, we had issues with my account, but we got it clear. I promise you, we good. So I got you, Queen. Tomorrow, a queen named Saritha, she's called a Transparency Coach. She'll be doing Girl Chat Wednesday. And then I usually do Friday and Monday. But yeah, girl, thank you for joining in. All right, y'all. So if that's it or whatever, I appreciate y'all. This concludes my little series for TBC, the Boss Chat, the Blueprint Collect. Make sure y'all, if it was good or whatever, don't act like it wasn't what it was when y'all get back in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't act like, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Let the people know. Let the people know that it was good. You know what I'm saying? Let your coaches know that I understood the assignment, okay? I appreciate you. And I'm always here. Y'all can always reach out to me. I'm just here. I'm your queen, sis, so no biggie. But you guys are in the right place at the right time. For your right now, this ain't church, but you know what I'm saying? You're right now. Thanks. TBC is an amazing community. Queen Trishana is the bomb.com. I honor her. I respect her. I love her. Her and Queen Jovi and everybody that makes up this amazing community. So y'all stay connected and make sure y'all really dial in and make sure you're as equally successful in your personal life as you are in your professional and your business life. And that way you can't do nothing but win. All right. Y'all good? Follow me on IG. I need to see more y'all on my IG because, you know what I'm saying, don't act like it wasn't giving. It was giving, okay? All right, I appreciate you guys. Bye.
What's your IG?
Oh, at Destiny Inspire. So my name right here on Zoom. At Destiny_Inspire. Yes, ma'am. Come on, Queen Patricia, with this picture with the bling and then like the chambray and like, you know what I'm saying, and then the part and it's like that. I'm here for it.
Thank you. I don't get out much, so when I do, I show out.
Little ding ding ding, you know what I'm saying? Little room boom boom boom. I'm here for it.
Thank you, ladies. You guys have a good night.
Good night, y'all. All right, Michelle, I get the fire. Bye. Y'all go let the chat know that it was giving, okay? It was giving. All right, bye.